Hello, welcome to California Games on the Commodore 64. Now this came out 1987, and it was a bit of a departure from the Epyx sports games. But I think it's quite a pleasant departure, but I think they explored the summer games and winter games themes to it, pretty as far as you could take them really. And if you'd played the later games series, the games Winter Edition, games Summer Edition, you'll see that they were just tired, tired rehashes, and they didn't have the same quality that the earlier Epyx games had. Now, personally, I think this is the last of the great Epyx games, multi-load, multi-format sort of event games. After that, I don't think any of the games they released were anywhere near as good. Alright, let's get started. So, instead of picking your country, you pick your sponsor. But other than that, it's business as usual. And the reason I think the reason this game is quite good is just the events themselves. They're quite well designed, but and quite playable in their own right. And most of them take quite a lot of practice to master them. And graphically, they're all pretty good. And I think in terms of the music, it's probably the best that Epyx ever managed to produce. To be honest. The only downside is the rather lengthy multi-loads, and if you had it cassette it was pretty boring. But unfortunately I'm playing a disc version on the emulator here, so it's not quite as bad. Right, here we are in the half pipe where you just have to score points by doing some skateboarding shenanigans. There's not too many moves you can do. Mostly just these kicks to turn round, a bit of spinning at the top, and if you get airborne enough, then it's quite difficult to do. You then can do a sort of 180 in the air. And that's where the big points are, but it always has the most risk. If you mistime it, then you're going to fall. I'm actually doing quite well. Oh, mistimed that one. Dunk. Now you get basically three lives. And you've only got until the time runs out to get as many points as you can. Again, it's just a matter of learning the timing, when exactly to perform the moves, and how long to maintain the button down or whatever. I think graphics are pretty good in this game. Probably amongst the best of any Epyx game. That was quite a good score, actually. Obviously, like all these games, it's the best if you play it with more than one person, because then you're directly competing with them for first place and things like that. But unfortunately, I'm on my own. But unlike the earlier games of this series, the presentation's a bit better. There's some nice sort of there's nice trophies here, things like that you didn't get in the earlier games. But there's not any more loading for them. Next event, Footbag, is interesting. This is probably one of the more technical and challenging of all the levels in the game. As we wait for it to load. So here we are in a park in San Francisco Bay. The idea is just to use this little hacky sack thing. Just try and perform as many moves as you can in the time that you have. You try and get that bird for extra points. Now, I used to be able to do all the events for this, but I'd be pretty hard pressed to do it now, I think. Again, you really need the instructions to get the most out of these games. Oh, that was quite a hard one to do. I can't remember which moves I haven't done yet. I don't think I've done quite a few I haven't done. Oh. Well, only two I didn't manage to do. 5 in a row, that's an easy one as well. Never mind. Yeah, I think it pains a little dividing this. I think for some people maybe it is a little too much of a departure from the previous games. As far as I'm concerned, it's quite it's a bit of fresh air, to be honest, and they were getting a bit stale by that time, I think. I think the format was getting a bit stale, and this is a bit of fresh air, I think, to be honest. But I think it was the last decent title of the game series, I think. I never cared for the Winter Edition, Summer Edition games, later game series. I mean, I don't think this is as good as Summer Games 2. It's maybe, I don't think any of the games are in par with Summer Games 2. I think that's by far the best. I think this is not far behind though. Bit of suffering here. I don't think this is too far behind from being one of the best of the series. I think. Now this is a little bit abstract. This one is it, in a way it's similar to the skating events in Winter Games 2, but Winter Games where they were a little bit abstract and you're not really sure what gives you the points. So it's best just to have fun. Just do as many silly moves as you can do. Also, when you go off in the area, you've got to land at the same angle that you left the wave at. So if I go at that angle, I've got to land at that angle. Oh! Didn't quite make that. There's the odd humorous touch here and there. I think sometimes when you wipe out, there's some jaws will appear or something like that, or some dolphins come and laugh at you. Oh, that's close. Well, I think that's it, to be honest. Oh. 8, that was a tremendous score, that was. That's one of the best scores I've ever got in that event, I think. Yeah, when this came out, I had this on cassette. It was a bit boring, the multi-load, but it was okay. Once you got to the events, you could practice them for as long as you wanted to. Or if you do the compete mode, there are no simultaneous events, so you can just give yourself 4 names, compete each event 4 times. It gives you plenty of practice at it. The next event up is skating. I'm not too keen on skating, it's okay, but it's not one of my favourite events. It's a bit tiring in the joysticks. You've got to keep moving up, down, right. I think it's right, up, down, diagonal sort of movement to keep the speed up. It's a bit easier on the keyboard, I think. Just got to skate as fast as you can. But I don't think there is even a speed restriction now. But you've just got to avoid all the obstacles. Occasionally there's a beach ball flies across the screen. You've got to avoid that. I'm doing alright here actually. I think you get more points if you sort of spin round, but it's a bit riskier, I think. Again, there's some atmospheric sort of graphics. But there's not really too much in this level. It's probably one of the least interesting. But, it's okay to play, but there's not really much to do in it. It's probably definitely definitely one of the weaker levels in the game, I think. You just really got to learn where all the obstacles are, I think. There you go. Right. On to there's always 6 events in total, which is a bit less than some of the games series. I think some games 2 had 8. I think Winter Games had 7. I think. But only 6 in this one. So we're on to the second last event, which is BMX, which I quite like this event, but I think you get 3, basically you get 3 lives, but if you land on your head at any time, it is game over. So you've got to be very careful with those moves. Now, California Games, I've also played it on the Spectrum, which is alright. It's not very polished though. It doesn't have the polish that this version has. And I've played it on the Amiga, which is also alright, but it's not. There's some events that aren't quite as playable as they are on the 64. I don't think it's not as good as the 64 version for sure. Right, and here we go. And this is one of the events that is not very good on the Amiga, but I think it does play a little differently. Just got to keep moving the joystick right to keep the speed up. Sort of keep tapping right. Try and do moves to get more points. Just avoid the obstacles that are on the track. Oops, that's always a tough one. This. Oh, there we go. I'm not sure I'm going to try any of the. You do flips, but I don't think I've ever managed to do a forward flip and survive. You can sometimes do a back flip if you time it right. Try and do didn't time that one. If you leave it too late, then you land on your head and it's game over. I don't think I'm going to get a back flip in. Which is a shame, but never mind. I think we're pretty much at the end of the level. There we go. That was not a bad effort at all. This music always reminds me of the old Batman TV series. I'm sure it was inspired by that. And this brings us, well, to the final event in the game, which probably my favourite event. I think the disc. Well, it's frisbee throwing, isn't it? Flying disc, as it's called, I think. There's quite an amusing touch in the flying disc. Speed off it. There's quite an amusing touch if you play it in practice mode. You can see at the top of the screen there's a little radar, shows your two players, and all you do is throw the disc to the other player. But in practice mode, if you leave it too long, a little Space Invader UFO comes and abducts your player, which always made me laugh anyway. Right. The aim here is to get the optimum speed and optimal angle for the throw. That wasn't too bad. You can see the disc in the radar. Now you get more points for a more complicated catch. If you try and do an overhead catch, you get more points. I don't think I'm going to just go for a normal one, I think. Again, if you do a jumping catch, you also get more points if you try and jump left, right and catch it. But very, very difficult to get the points for that. Always like the graphics and the music in this level. Just very, very summary. You know, and if you're like me, and you're from you know, a wet and miserable country like Scotland, then you know, a nice sunny day in the park is pretty much an alien concept to you. Oh, overhead catch. Right, there you go. That was California Games for you. That's all the events. I still think they're pretty good, actually. Even though it's a bit of a departure, I still think it was something different. I think it was the only way you could really take the series forward, rather than do rehashes. So yep, I still think it's a pretty good game on its own. I think it's pretty good. Games, Epyx games, part of that series. So yep, I'll give this 8.5 out of 10. I would have given it 9 if it hadn't been for the multi-loads, but yeah, I think 8.5 is a good score for a great game, to be honest. Yep, there we go.